Welcome to Comically Comics, your one-stop listen to all things comics. We're talking books, movies, TV shows, video games, and more. I must forewarn you, though, we are a spoilercast, and what that means is we consider all properties, past, future, and present, to be valid, and we will spoil the hell out of them. I'm your host, Michael, along with my two co-hosts, Richard and Jeremy, and with all that being said, let's get started. Alrighty, it is Sunday, May 26th. This is the day before Memorial Day, but absolutely Memorial Day weekend. So, special shout out to all the veterans out there, and of course, all of our fallen who have given their life for this in our country and us the ability to do things and whatnot like that. We greatly appreciate y'all and appreciate your family and the support that they've given you. So thank you very much. Big salute to y'all.
Yes, very much so.
Yeah.
Today, we've got a palate cleanser because, you know, we talked news and then we did like 2.5 months of like X-Men. Something that was teased months back, but we're finally here. Twig, did y'all hear about this book before I said anything about it?
Who? No, absolutely not.
Nice. You, Jeremy?
And of course not.
This one's gonna be great. So, this is written by Scotty Young, drawn by Kyle Stram, coloring by Jean Francios.
Francois Beaulieu.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
very French name,
right?
I had to look this up. I too was like, excuse me?
right. Lettering by Nate Pix. Apologize.
Picos.
Oh, there's an O. Yeah, I can't even read my own handwriting. Congratulations to me. So, Picos. Thank y'all. This is like, I love this story, honestly. Like, I just spoiler alert for my whelming or whatever.
Yeah, geez. Already into it.
I really do. Well, you know what? Fuck it. So my whelming of this is like almost overly whelmed. I love the story. I love the artwork that's in this, and I love like the hidden meanings of everything, because usually I do not get that shit at all. But this one like kind of spells it out for you, I feel like, for the most part. And I'm sure there's shit that I still don't like get. But outside of that, like, it's just, I don't know. I think it's just a fantastic, well done story. And I'm just going to leave it at that. So, Jeremy, what is your whelming of this?
Well, so first off is apologize if the audio sounds a little different. I'm traveling, and of course, I forgot my mic. So
I don't know what you're talking about. You're on the moon again, Jeremy.
Yeah.
Are you going to meet Twig there?
Yes, exactly.
Apparently, I am. I'm waiting to be serenaded. So
yes. Spoiler, you bastard.
Yeah. But I'm pleasantly whelmed with this one as well. I enjoyed it. It was like you said, kind of a nice palate cleanser story. It was very lighthearted. I love the artwork and the coloring there. Like, you know, to me, comic books can get very bland, like, or like, not, I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain, like almost muddled together sometimes. Doesn't seem like there's enough separation between everything in there, and it can just kind of be as one clump sometimes. This one, it was very bright colored, and it was still very definitive of like where everything was. It wasn't like things ran over each other or blended in too much. But so it was a very calming story to it as well.
Yeah.
And just overall with the artwork and the storyline, it was just very kind of relaxing to just breeze right through it, kind of thing.
Yeah. Scotty Young is a like variant cover artist for the most part. Like, I know he does I Hate Fairyland and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I was reading a little bit, like an interview. Matter of fact, I'll just do a plug for them. I think it was like cbr.com. Let me make sure. Unfortunately, I didn't write down. Yeah, it was cbr.com. They did an interview with Scotty Young on Twig, and I read that. after I read this, just because I wanted some like more in depth of like the creation of this. And because he is an artist and he gave all of his like ideas and stuff with Kyle Strom, they would just like meet up on like their lunch break and talk about ideas on how to like come up with certain things. And I mentioned in this one of my notes, but they wanted to invoke like Fraggle Rock and Labyrinth and Never Ending Story and stuff like these 80s like children's movies. And it comes off like that. Like, and anyway, Scotty Young being an artist, he was talking about like giving like stuff to Kyle, but even sometimes Kyle, he would just be like, I'm just gonna let you do your thing because you gotten my vision of what I want so bad. Anyway, it shows that on the page, and it's so great. That all being said, my whelming for this is overly whelmed. Like, I just fucking love this so much. It's so weird that you suggested this, Michael. I'll be honest with you. This seems like something I would suggest, and I was like, I'm so taken aback right now.
And it's a very like upbeat and pleasant, and
Yeah.
just, you know.
As much as y'all say this is an upbeat and pleasant like story, there's some fucking terrifying moments in this for Twig.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh man, so one of my notes about the overall thing of this is just the creature, the creature designs in this is so fucking good. There are just stuff in here that they give no explanation on, and you're like I have so many notes of what the fuck is that? Why do those monoliths have eyes? Like, what the fuck is that? But anyway, yeah, it's just it's really cool. I really dug this.
awesome. I'm so like, I was terrified, honestly, because I think this is one of, I don't know that I've really like suggested anything else like before this. I think this is one of my ones that I've been like, yeah, we actually need to read this. It's really good. So, which I don't say very often, honestly. Like, this just not, I don't know. Maybe I'm a Scrooge. I don't know. But this book right here, Twig, is the journey of said character, Twig, and his buddy Splat. And they have taken on the job of placeling. They get a stone and they have to go on a journey to go drop it off, essentially.
Yeah.
Well, of course, shit happens, and the stone gets fucked up, and now they got to fix the stone, and there's a whole nother journey, and on top of that, finding the shit to fix the stone.
It's a side quest,
and still, hopefully, be able to place it at the very end of this story. So it's journey on top of journey on. You know, people sit there a lot of times, like especially doing YouTube, like this journey, and it really bugs me. Like it really just like it makes me cringe every time I hear the nerd journey. But like that's the only word that describes this book right here to me is journey. So
it's very like it's and I'll probably get a lot of backlash on this, but to me, I enjoyed. It's a very more upbeat and pleasant Lord of the Rings.
okay.
Oh wow, yeah. You are gonna get probably some backlash on that. But yeah, it is very Hobbit like. I'll say I think it's more Hobbit than Lord of the Rings. But yeah, I agree.
Y'all are speaking way out of my league.
Can I also I just want to start off by saying that Splat is the goat of this story.
Yes.
Like he's the goat of this story, man. Like he's so like he's funny, he's helpful, and he's fucking useful as all get out. He does all sorts of crazy things in this story that I'm just like, man, he is the fucking goat of this.
Well, and then even that, like he's the one that keeps the story going too.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Like as we get to that issue, like he's the one that like the story like is the reason it's able to finish the way that it is.
Yeah.
So which is awesome. But yes, I love Splat as well.
Which is another parallel for Lord of the Rings, because I feel like he's the Samwise Gamgee of this fucking story, man.
Oh, Frito and Ham. That's what I used to call him.
Frito and Ham.
Now if anybody's gonna get some shit, that's gonna be me. Issue 1, they don't have names for the issues or anything like that. It's just issue 1, straight up. So we meet Twig and his friend Splat. He is late for his first day of his new job as a placeling, a job that his father had before. As a placing, Twig receives a stone and is tasked with transporting it. He journeys off to the Pathsayer, apologize, only to find his decayed corpse. So, were y'all expecting the dead body at the very end of this fucking book? I'm just letting you know, because I was like so into it and wanting to give this to my son, and then I saw the body and I was like, well, damn.
No, I was not. I was like, how late did he sleep in? Like, what is time on this world? How does it pass? Like,
well, and I felt bad because like everybody, how did everybody know that he was late? Like,
Yeah.
did he just walk? He's like, hey, I got a new job, because he didn't seem happy about it anyways in the first place. But like everybody's like, hey, asshole, you're late. Like. And so you made the comment earlier, Richard, about how like all the influences that Scotty Young wanted on this book.
Yeah.
My note right here says, reminds me of the Neverending Story. And what I'm specifically talking about is the giant rock mountain that Twig has to go to. Like in the very first of the Neverending Story, you see this rock guy running around on a bike and stuff like that. Like that's what I thought of as soon as I saw that.
Yeah. I literally was like, my note literally says, Never Ending Story Mountain? Question mark.
Yeah.
Also, I love that the mountain is named Mount Guffin, which is, I think, a play on the word MacGuffin, which is an element in a work of fiction that drives the plot and motivates the character despite being relatively significant to the story. I think that's a play on words, but I'm not sure. But anyway, I just thought that was a cute moment for me.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, no, I like that. Just right off, like when we're talking about with Splat being the go, like just right off the bat, he's just talking about like, hey, have you thought about the like awkwardness of this whole situation? He's like, and Twig is like, yes, like be quiet, stop it, like don't bring this up. And even like, I agree with Splat. He completely got pooped out. Like it was that was like it came out the back end, so you can't get around it.
Yep.
Well, I thought it was great because this is so me. And this is even my son on top of that, where he's like, oh, Splat, I'm late. I thought, you're supposed to wake me up. And he's like, what are you talking about? He never said anything about me waking you up. And he's like, no, I mean, I had to wake up at a certain time. He's like, yeah, but you never told me to wake you up. Like that was. I thought that was great.
Yeah.
When my first note for this, when you first, like the very first page, and we see that bird, whatever, crack-a-coing or what, I don't even know how to say that, onomatopoeia. My first note was, I like the art, but what in this Dr. Seuss looking ass world is this? Because it just looks so Dr. Seussian right off the bat, but as it goes on, it's crazier than even that.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, Twig, for our viewers, in case you don't read it or have no desire to read it, or you're just curious, Twig looks like fucking Stitch from Lilo and Stitch. I like his design, though, all to say that. Like, I'm going to say all these like goofy things, but I do like this quite a bit.
It's like Stitch and Elmo had a baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like one of the things I noticed too, like, was his little his campsite thing. I was like, that doesn't seem very like sturdy or reassuring there. Like,
his little like lean-to.
Yeah, it's just one little twig, and well, the twig yeah. But and I also love like through this that he's like a chef, a cook through it.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Seeing those little things coming out, I thought that was kind of fun. Having that little side note in there.
Man, later on in the story, he makes some pizza, and I'm like, man, that pizza looks so good.
Y'all got anything else for issue 1?
No, not really.
No, I'm good.
All right, let's move on to issue 2. After burying the Pathsayer, Twig and Splat attempt to use his machine to find the stone's destination. They succeed in getting the machine to run and learn they are to head to where the blade blossom blooms. Then the machine blows up, which also drains the stone of all its nectar. They journey to the Nectarmancer, who shares how to rejuvenate the stone.
Basically, the plot story of this one is that Splat needs to learn how to season.
He seasons like I do. I just throw shit on there. Fuck it.
Yeah. But that's funny. Like, he was like, no, you basically empty the whole bottle and and the thing blows up. Yeah, Splat's fault.
I like when at the very beginning when they're burying the Pathsayer, and he's like, "I think this is a bad omen," and Splat's like, "Oh no, it's not a bad omen. You know, he just came face to face with his like whatever they call tox, which I guess is time or whatever, and it's like it has nothing to do with you or what you have to do." And he's like, "You're probably right." And he's like, except for he's the only person that could tell me where I have to go for my quest. And he's like, so maybe that is a bad omen.
Twig is met with a lot of death here in the first, like, starting this journey.
Mhm.
Like, the Pathsayer, you know, we've already talked about, has died and has been dead for a while. I don't know how decomposing works in their world, but I guess it's been some time between journey to journey.
Yeah.
Or they just...
Brother was bones.
Right. There were, like, flowers were growing out of his eye.
Yeah, like there was no more like flesh attached to those bones. It's just bones, bleached bones.
But his dad, like, is the reason he's the placeling. His dad died, and so he had to take up the mantle for that. So I kind of felt bad for the man, like, or little fuzzball, whatever he is, because I mean, he just wanted to cook, and now he's gotta go on these journeys to drop stones off. Like,
it's the last journey or the last stone, I guess. I don't know if that's spoilers.
Yeah, we've wound up finding that out. It's not yet, but I think it's the next issue we actually find that out. But yeah. But is it though?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah.
But is it though? When he was going to actually see the Necromancer, he starts getting chased by these critters called chitters.
Yeah.
So my note was chitters remind me of witches.
Yeah,
just
same.
because
Oh yeah.
Yep. Yep. Same. I was like, my note says witches? Question mark? With the chit. Man, so much, like, again, I don't think I mentioned that one, but also another influence for Scotty Young on this was the Dark Crystal. And the Necromancer, the Nectarmancer.
Yeah.
Just looks like a Skeksis with like Majora's Mask on its face.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
It looks so much like the Skeksis. I just think that's really cool. Also, in one of the scenes when they're like navigating to the Nectarmancer, he's like stopping for directions with, I'm gonna assume, are just like Middle Eastern like Jawas, because they just look like Jawas.
That's hilarious. Yeah.
So does this mean that Twig is bilingual?
Probably, yes.
Like, he's pretty smart.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty smart for a little pizza guy. Anything else for issue 2?
Yeah, we learned that apparently one of the things that he needs to replenish his little stone is on the moon.
He's coming to see me.
We've got Twig in space.
How he gets there is pretty cool. When we finally get to that issue, like, I love that part. Like, that was fun.
Yeah.
That was fun for me.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
And Twig's dad was also like 3 times the size as Twig. Like, I don't know, not 3 times, but he was at least twice as big. He was a big burly man, or fuzzball, like you said.
Yeah, he was like old man strong.
Yeah,
he was Branch.
Shrunk.
He was Trunk. Yeah, there you go.
That's great. Was it this issue here where we learned what all 3 he needed, or was it the next when he was leaving out?
At the end of 3, or at the end of 2, I don't think we learn every little detail.
No,
it just says that one of the elements you need is on the moon.
Ah, got you. Okay, cool. On to issue 3. On their way to find the first of 3 items they need to mend the stone, Twig gets captured. It looked like a chitter to me. What What do y'all think?
I think it's supposed to be a similar thing. I don't think it's a chitter though, because the chitters didn't have hands or arms, I should say.
Okay. I called it a chitter, but I don't know. That's what it reminded me of. Has intent on skinning Twig and selling his meat. No need to fear. Splat saves the day, and they return to their quest to the Horned Beast land, only to find that there is one left, and Twig needs its heart. I'm just saying, like. Right. This is like where you were talking about Splat and just how useful he is.
Uh-huh.
I mean, bro had all kinds of things. It was like trying to cut Twig down and couldn't do it. And then like turned himself into a fruit and just hung there for a bit.
Before that, he picks the lock to the Pathfinder's house. Later on, he becomes like a sail for the sailboat. He's a parachute at one point. Like, he's the goat, man. He's so fucking cool. I was going to say, this issue here, he turns into a parachute after he saves Twig and releases him from, I don't know what you call him, a poacher's prison. I don't know what he is. That's the one thing I wish they would actually like either give a name or name the animal or something. But especially this character, especially this one, because like I don't know how to describe him. Yeah. I just kind of refer to him as the hunter.
Okay.
Since he has like pelts and stuff. And skins things.
That was his big thing. That was the hunter was, as we're going to call him now. That was his big thing, is that he wanted a placeling's hide because they fetch a lot, because placelings are pretty rare, and then selling the meat off that he had after that. But Splat burnt that motherfucker down. Like he caused a diversion. He burnt the house down, and so him and Twig could get out of there. So
I love when he's rescuing Twig and he's all like, Twig, whatever, hurry up. And he's like, oh, how about say thank you for creating this extremely dangerous diversion, that we could all die from. He's a bit of a smartass, which I kind of like.
Yeah. It made me think of, and then this is my Harry Potter coming out, but there's a scene whenever like Harry gets captured and they're in the middle of this room. It's at the Malfoy Manor, but basically Dobby, the house elf, is coming to rescue him, and like they're in this intense battle, and all of a sudden they pause, like because everybody gets kind of in a stalemate type thing, and you just hear this like squeaking overhead, and it's Dobby up there just hanging on this massive chandelier, like loosening the bolt, and so where finally it just comes crashing down. So like that kind of gave me like the vibes of that, because he's just over there like pulling on this torch, and finally it just goes, and I just thought that was pretty funny.
Poor Dobby.
God.
You brought it up. Like,
I know.
Is it still too soon, Jeremy?
Yeah, it still is too soon.
That broke my oldest down in the movie theaters. I had no idea it was coming either, so it caught me off guard. Yeah, my note was Splat is great. I fucking love Splat. He's my favorite character in this whole thing, and that shouldn't be a surprise to anybody, honestly.
Yeah, same. So at the beginning, there's like this vision that Twig keeps having, like nightmares of the potential like darkness that will befall upon the lands if he doesn't succeed in his mission. And there's these, again, Scotty Young, I guess, using influences from old 80 things, but I called them Bewoks, beaver Ewoks, because they just look like a mixture of Ewoks and beavers that are being attacked. I thought that was kind of cool. Again, like I took all these notes down and then read that article, and I was like, holy shit, yeah, I can see some of the things that he's talking about. The that weird, as he's journeying before he gets trapped by the hunter, we see those weird fucking monoliths that I was just like, what the fuck is that? Why do they have eyes? But I love all these designs, because this does feel very like a Jim Henson like movie or something. I could easily see this being all puppets.
Right.
And it would be really cool. Like at the end of this, I kind of want to talk about, like, I would love for them to make a movie based off of this, or at the very least a video game. I could see like a platforming style, like Banjo-Kazooie or something, kind of like where you have like your Twig, and then like Splat is like your like tool that you use in the world. Anyway, I'm rambling, but yeah, I really dug this.
Yeah.
No, I'm with you on the movie. Like, I would love to see like a 3D animated movie of this.
Yeah.
Like, I think
Yeah.
that would be fantastic. So,
Be a much cooler version of Lilo and Stitch.
you take that back. Lilo and Stitch is amazing.
Yeah, and I was about to say a lot of people love Lilo and Stitch. You were just shooting yourself in the foot tonight. Lord of the Rings, Lilo and Stitch. There's yet another too. Like, there's a wall with like, I don't know, all these floating orbs, and then there's a wall, like an ice wall or something that just is an eye. And I was like, what the fuck is that? There's eggs too that I feel like this like Rick and Morty. There's eggs that are just screaming their name, egg. They're like, egg.
Oh, that's great. That's another thing that I forgot to write down, but I love the cutscenes like on page, because you'll have like not necessarily a splash page, but it's like a splash page of panels of like all the different like areas that Twig is journeying on and walking through and stuff like that. It's super cool to see like all the places in this world that he's having to go to get from point A to point B. So, bro needs to buy a car or something, because god damn, that's a lot of walking.
Yes.
Or he needs to get a horse.
Not too subtle there, buddy.
Oh, you got anything else for issue 3?
No, that's it for me.
Yep, I'm good.
Cool. Issue 4, introducing Lobi, the last horned beast on Earth, and Twig needs his heart to repair the stone. Of course, Twig couldn't hurt Lobi, though. So, Lobi joined Twig and Splat for their adventure off. After a run-in with a giant, they finally make it to the Never Not, where there they release a purple meatball who sings.
I was going to call him Krang.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. They make their way to the Moon Trail only to run across one of their old foes. Yeah, that whole purple meatball scene, that's freaking terrible. Like, that to me was like, first of all, Twig. So, all right, for our listeners who have not read this, or even if you have, he makes his way to this thing called the Never Not, and there's guards outside who have died. They're no more. They're the way of the past sayer. Okay.
Splat says they've become part of the landscape. I think that's what he says. They've become part of the decor. That's what he says.
Yeah. They make their way inside, and there's this one cell with this creature that you can only see its eyes and its teeth. And it's just chatting away, and it's like, oh, my mind is at me again. Why, it's woe is me kind of stuff. And another thing that I love about Twig, by the way, is that everybody has like their own color word bubble as well.
Oh, yeah.
So it makes it even easier to follow along as to who's saying what, really.
Mm-hmm.
But what I don't like about that is that it detours me from looking at the panel as much too. Because like I know that yellow's Splat and white's Twig and stuff like that. I don't have to follow it down to make sure I know who's talking to what. Regardless, this little this purple meatball has got like black word bubbles with like purple lettering and purple outlining. So it's giving you that creepy vibe of like, hot damn, you don't want to open this. However, Twig of all people has the key in his bag to open up the door. And what does he do? He opens it up. So it's just, man, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah. Just too trusting.
He didn't have a choice.
Yeah, I was about to say he talks about it in that weighing, like, is the threat of releasing this guy worse than the threat of not completing my mission? And he's like, no, it is not. So I need to release him, which I'm assuming maybe will come up in possibly later stories with Twig.
Maybe.
Hmm.
Maybe so. Good thought.
Yeah.
Another note I had here was just the scenery is fantastic. Like even more like just traveling here and there, you get more scenery, which is awesome. The conversation with the horn beast, I was just like, golly, like that's just I don't know. Did y'all
Yeah.
think that Twig was gonna kill the horned Lobie?
No, because this story seemed too cutesy to have something like that happen with Twig. And honestly, like when he's prepared to kind of kill Lobie and then Splat stops him, or excuse me, Twig stops himself.
Yeah.
I was just like, good Twig. That'll do, Twig. That'll do. But yeah, Lobie's story is fucking heartbreaking, man.
Uh-huh.
Right?
It really is.
Jeremy, do you think that Twig was gonna off Lobie?
No, like I said, I didn't necessarily have the same thought as Richard there, but like I didn't think so just because of the way if you were going to do it, it had to be done within like that first second, because you let it linger too long, you're going to get connected type thing. So, but at the same time, he's got a good heart. Twig does.
Right.
So I really didn't think he was going to do it, and I was glad he did.
I didn't know. Like as I was reading this the first time, I really didn't know. Like I was waiting to turn the page and just this horrific scene of just massacred horned beast or whatever just going on.
A massacred rhino, essentially. A pink, like hippopotamus rhino.
He's so just lovable. Like, and I'm glad that they did a stellar job making him the way he is.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it just, I love that his little horn like glows too. So.
The perfect stuffed animal. I'm just letting y'all know. But like for him to sit there and be like, okay, hold on, let's talk about this. And he hears Twig out and he's like, well, if it's for the world, okay, go ahead. Do it.
Yeah.
It's like, really? Really?
Yeah, he's just like, cut my heart out, and you're just like, damn, dude.
Right?
And it's so heartbreaking when you see his little home. There's like drawings of like other, like it looks like very like childlike drawings of other of the whatever horned beasts, and you learn that he's like the last of his kind, and you're just kind of like, wow, this is so fucking heartbreaking.
Oh, well, when they try to get it, like they ask him what his name is.
Yeah.
And he's like, wow, what's the name?
What's the name?
Oh, yeah. Oh, gosh. Yeah.
And they're like, oh, that's something your parents to give you. He's like, oh, my parents died before I knew them. So it's like, oh my God.
It just keeps getting worse and worse.
Yeah, it really is.
Did y'all expect the hunter to return there at the end of this book?
No,
I definitely did not on that. Like I thought they were done with him, and whenever they got to that bridge there and everything, you know, I just was waiting for them to get across or something. Like part of me wondered if something was going to happen, but I definitely did not expect Hunter to just pop back up there.
Right.
Yeah. Right before that, though, the world design, like that bridge is made of teeth, and like they have to go through, which is essentially like it looks like an anus made of teeth, and I was just like, what the fuck is that? Why is it made of teeth?
That anus made of teeth.
It is.
Oh man. Yeah, the purple meatball, that's the one that threw me off. Like, especially when he's like bouncing out of there. I was just like, oh my God, that's the creepiest shit. It looked like
Krang, and then he like whispers something and they don't tell us what it is until later
Sweet
on.
Nothings.
Yeah. I was like, it better be good, which I will say I'm a little disappointed once we learn what that is, kind of. But anyway.
Yeah.
It was the special sauce.
It was the secret recipe for KFC's whatever 11 spices.
Purple meatball sauce.
But yeah, this is where I wrote the note of like just fucking Splat's the goat. Like he just really is, man. Like especially when they're walking past that like mud giant or whatever, and he's like, "Hey, I hate to bring this moment down. but we should probably start running. And then there's like that, they do that wide sort of panel of like a wide shot of like the sleeping mud giant. I was just like, this dude, they would be dead if it wasn't for Splat. Like several times over.
Poor Splat.
But yeah, that's it for me.
Yeah.
Cool. Issue 5. The conclusion to Twig's journey starts here. Will Twig and crew make it out alive? If so, will they be able to mend the stone? Even if that, will they be able to place the stone in time? Find out here. My note, someone was tripping balls on this landscaping. I'm just saying, the moon scenes in particular, somebody had done some acid, some shroom tea, I don't know, but there was drips, there was twirls, there was unraveling. Somebody was tripping balls on this one, right?
I just wrote, the moon's a big ol' egg. And which is like almost like a trope at this point with a lot of stories, is the moon is just a giant egg for something. Also, I had a little bit of PTSD with Twig singing to like kind of save the day, because that happens in one of the Crisis stories with Superman. He sings basically to save the universe. So I was just like, oh no, what are we doing here?
I was sad, like, whenever Lobi sacrificed himself.
Oh, absolutely.
I was like, oh man, like that's like had to take a break for a second. But
yeah, my my first note for this issue was Lobi, and then I was like, they Gandalf us with like the Balrog of like, fly you fools. And he like falls. I was just like, no, it was
emotional damage.
So how surprised were y'all that this scene returned?
I know. I was very surprised.
Yeah, I was too. They're obviously glad. And I like, again, you know, like I said, talking about it in the beginning, where his being a cook chef kind of was one of the themes throughout this kind of series. And that's kind of partly what brought him back to understanding, like, you know, they weren't necessarily needing his physical heart, just that he was like basically had that sacrifice, that love there for it.
Yeah.
So, and yeah, I thought that was really cool that they brought him back then. So, or shortly after.
Well, and he was even saved by a fucking twig.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like a pirate twig.
It was very poetic that he was saved by a twig. I love in that moment when he's with, again, the creature design, this like sea captain of like a cloud ship or something. Like, what the fuck is even this? I love it, but I'm just like, what is this?
I fucking love that guy.
Yeah. I love when he's talking about like, he knows what ominous means, but he doesn't know what the word doomed means. I think that's a funny moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was very surprised, because I figured out that like, oh, you don't actually need, like, since we're at the final issue, you don't need the actual heart of the horned beast. You need like it's
metaphorical.
I figured that's what it was. And that you would need it. So I thought maybe Lobi's sacrifice was something that they needed to unlock it. But I'm glad that Lobi ended up surviving, because I did quite like Lobi, and he had such a heartbreaking moment, or heartbreaking story, I mean.
So they needed the heart of the horn beast. They needed the tear of the moon, and
a song.
That's right, the song. Yeah, it was like it was there where I was just like, holy shit, I'm actually getting some of this or whatever. Cause like he didn't need the heart of the horn beast to actually get the tear, but for him to make the journey, he needed that heart to actually like help him succeed to get to where he needed to get to be able to sing the song.
In other words, the nectar was the friends we made along the way.
Yes. And then, like I said, the whole him landing, this big hippo rhino thing landing on a twig, and this boat just happened to come by. I was just like, man, damn you, you! But thank God. So, of course, he gets the nectar. He gets the tear from the moon. It rejuvenates the stone. So now we have to finish the mission going to the Blades.
Oh yeah,
Blades Blossom Blooms.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, BBB. to place the stone. And so before we got to here, had y'all figured out the whole like hero of heroes?
No, I honestly thought it was Twig.
Yeah, I did too.
Oh, that he's gonna get the sword or whatever?
Yeah, I thought that because it never revealed his face, so I thought that
Right.
the hero was going to be Twig, and like these were going to be special items he finds along the way in his journey.
Oh, okay. And it was gonna build him in to be that hero.
Yeah.
That he had in his visions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Got you.
But then, like, him explaining it later, I'm like, oh, he's a placeling, so he just puts stuff in places.
Yeah, I just placed that. That's my job. But I like that. That's such a great message for, because I'm assuming this story is kind of meant for, I mean, it's meant for all ages, but for like younger kids. It's a great, like, you don't have to necessarily be like the quote unquote hero. Like everyone has an important job regardless. Yeah. I think that's a cute and good message in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I did not expect that at all. Because when like they were showing up, I was like, oh, so like that's not just like a vision he had. That's like actually somebody like the mushroom, almost like samurai looking hat.
Yeah.
He's got the weird gloves and boots and things. But yeah, no, I really dug that message in my opinion.
Yeah.
I just dug the aspect of like, you watch all these movies growing up, including these 80s movies. Now that we've brought that in there, like of these big action heroes and stuff like that, and how they, they have to go and find the Grail to be able to save the day kind of thing. And it's like, how did that fucking Grail even get there to begin with? And it's the story of that hero that goes, and he's the one that actually places all the Grails for everybody. You know what I mean? That always, and he's the reason there's always somebody there to save the day, is because he's made sure the Grail's there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I don't know. When I saw that, I was like, holy shit. That was my holy shit moment. So
yeah. And it essentially makes him like one of the most important people, at least for this world.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
and I love like at the end of this, Splat calling him out about ready to do it again. He's like, oh, so you're ready for another like world ending crisis to just set this whole place ablaze then. He's like, no, not that.
No, but yes, but no. Yeah, and that's what we got. The whole he places a stone, and him and Lobie and Splat all walk into the sunset, like an 80s movie always finishes off anyways. And we get a page that says Twig will return.
Yeah, they MCU us with the like Twig will return in Avengers Assembled or whatever.
Right. Branches assemble.
Yeah, there you go.
So there you go. Twig in a nutshell. Pretty close to a nutshell. Yeah. Something like that.
In an acorn shell.
Yeah, something like that. You brought up an interesting comment there earlier, Richard, of like things you would like to see this turned into. You brought up a video game. We talked a little bit about movies. Is there anything else y'all want to add to that? Is there anything else y'all would like to see? Would this be better as a TV show or a movie? Like, what else would y'all like to see this as?
I think it just as a movie, I think would be really good. I like the idea, like what Richard was saying as far as video game and Splat being like your tool throughout the world in the game there. But yeah, I think doing a movie would be a lot of fun with it.
Yeah. I think this movie, I think the story is too short for a television show. Like if it's a television show, it's like 3 episodes at most. And yeah, I think you could make a solid like hour and 30-minute movie.
Yeah.
I would prefer like bring in the Jim Henson creature like stuff and bring back puppets for this. I think it would fit perfectly into that world. I really don't want to see a CGI for this, but whatever. That's the kind of the landscape of making movies nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and then the video game was the idea I had because it felt very like Ratchet and Clank or Banjo Kazooie, like a platformer kind of adventure style. So I could easily see them doing something like that as well. But I really dug it. I thought I definitely want to see it in other forms of media. I think Scotty Young's got a hit on his hand here.
Yeah.
Nice.
Or another one, I should say.
Another one.
Another one.
I got too many sound bites. I have to scroll through so many pages now.
I was waiting for you to do it. I was like, he's not gonna do it. Yeah, I would like to see a really cool CGI of this. I think that would be really cool. I don't know that I want to go backwards and go to puppets. I just
man, I fucking love puppets, like the Labyrinth and stuff like that. I love puppets.
No, yeah, that was my life too, where it was just like, Kermit the Frog here and stuff like that. Like
Kermit the Frog here.
Like that. No, I grew up on the fucking Muppets. Like that was my thing as a kid. But I don't know that I want to go back to that. I just But yeah, I think definitely a little movie, hour and 30-minute movie. Don't add anything to this. Don't do your little like song montages of Twig walking through certain lands or whatever. Like you don't have to add anything to this, and don't take anything out. Who do y'all think if Twig was to return? Because this was supposed to be the final like journey. This was it. There was no more placings that needed to be done. He could now be a cook kind of thing. So if Twig will return, do you think any of these like outside of Splat and Lobie, like who do you think would return it?
I mean, I think you gotta. Well, I think Purple Meatball will show up in some fashion there.
Purple Meatball.
Yeah. I think definitely that, because that's the one kind of plot thread that's been left just sort of flapping in the wind.
Yeah.
You could easily have the hero needs Twig to place something new. Like it's not necessarily a stone or anything, but hey, I need you to go place this somewhere else. The hunter could not be dead, though I highly doubt it, just because that was a high fall. But yeah, definitely the Krang, Purple Meatball, I guess is what we're calling him. Definitely that one. I could see that being like, hey, you let this dude loose. You got to go take care of this.
Right. Yeah. Right. I want to see the hunter come back. Like, I know it was a big fall, but I mean, Lobie made it. Like, I want to see the hunter come back. I want the hunter, honestly, to be like Twig's like foe, his nemesis, his
arch nemesis.
Yeah.
Yes. Like that's kind of what I want, of like just a constant battle of him and Twig, and like he's always wanting Twig's hide, and Twig just continuously like picking up other characters that have value to him. You know what I mean? Where but those guys are just always out of reach.
Yeah.
So
the other thing too is you could have something to do, since the Path Sayer is dead. You could have something about like they need a new Path Sayer for something. I don't know. Like it's Scotty Young's world. I don't know exactly his vision of how this story is going to end, or how it's going to continue rather. But you could do something with that. I want to see the like here, like the whatever the mushroom warrior. Like I kind of want to see his story now.
Yeah, that could be cool. Speaking of, this being by Scotty Young, like you said in the beginning, Richard, Scotty Young is known more for doing variants and kind of the Calvin and Hobbes type style variants that we talked about before. And would y'all be interested in reading more Scotty Young after reading this? Like you said, he's got I Hate Fairyland. There's also a book that came out recently. It's called The Me You Love in the Dark, which I don't think is like a kid type style. It's another independent book.
I think it's horror.
Yeah, I think so too. And I'm trying to think. I think he's done something else, but it's not coming to mind. So, but he's done several writings. Like, is this an author that you think you'd want to go and pick up more of?
I could see myself like obviously trying them out and seeing. I could definitely see too where it'd be very easy to get ones that I'm just like, I don't get this one, and this is just too weird for me. So I think he could very easily go off on like some weird path there where I'm just not going to follow him.
Yeah, yeah, I could see that.
I hear I Hate Fairyland is quite good. It's very popular. I will say I'm not a fan of the art style, which is more of Scotty Young's art, because this was, like we said, Kyle Strom. But for this, I'll read it regardless if we want to. I'm definitely down for like a horror type thing. I love some horror comics.
I've heard mixed reviews. I think of not necessarily mixed reviews. I've heard people say they like it, and then I've just not heard anything at all. So
on which one?
The Me You Love in the Dark.
Okay.
Like I feel like people when it first started coming out, people were digging it, and then it's like as it's gone on, people just kind of fell off.
I got you.
So which happens sometimes. So cool. Y'all got anything else y'all want to add to this?
No, I think I'm good.
I thought about this earlier and I keep forgetting and then remembering, but I would love to like talk to Kyle and be like, yo, so what is it like meeting with Scotty Young? Does he sit there and say, hey, I want some, beaver Ewoks to do this? Or like all the stuff that we talked about as far as like describing it. Like what is it like having him describe to you like what he wants in this book? Because it's crazy shit, man.
Yeah. You should read that CBR article. It kind of talks a little bit about that, how a lot of the times he would tell him like, I want this specific thing. And sometimes Kyle would just let him do his thing. And he would be like, I love that. We'll use that here. Or that's perfect for when they're on their journey. You can show that here.
Yeah. Nice. I had to check it out then. Cool. In the meantime, Jeremy, where can they find you at?
They can find me on Twitch under the handle Night Fury GTO. It's Night with a K. And you can find me here. And I have not been able to play Spider-Man on the Moon. I'm sorry.
Shame. 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 You should have sang in a song.
Yeah, I know. Maybe. Yeah.
Nice. Richard, where can they find you at?
If you want to contact me directly, I have an X, the platform formerly known as Twitter, and Instagram, and a Threads. My handle is Night Curry, night like day and night, and curry with a K. If you want to contact us directly, we have a Gmail. Our Gmail is comicallycomicspodcast@gmail.com. And if you want to check us out on YouTube, possibly TikTok, we'll see, and Instagram, you can check us out under the name Comically Comics Podcast. And if you want to check us out on X, the platform formerly known as Twitter, you can check us out under the name Comically Comics with an X.
Awesome. You can find me on Instagram, eBay, and Shortbox at 22_comics. You can also find me on YouTube at 22 comics. Thank y'all so much for listening. Hope you enjoyed as much as we did making it. With all that being said, say goodbye, Jeremy.
Bye, Jeremy.
Goodbye, Jeremy. Goodbye.
Ohana.
Huh?
Ohana means family. Family means nobody
Gets left behind.
or forgotten.